Can I cancel this and can you resend it? I've canceled it. Can you resend it, Patrick, and then I'll get it up there? There it is. Sure. Thank you. Got it. There it is. Looks like it went into a different directory.
Okay, how many you got on there now, Tom?
Look, 17.
Okay, basically what Tom was saying there earlier is that Harold got some good news, basically going and submitting documents into Social Security. They'd been trying to stifle his Social Security payments by putting an IRS tax lien on his items. So they were withholding additional payment from him. Well, he turned around sort of like what I did with the Social Security Administration, that they kept dragging their feet and not paying their payments out there. Sent an item into the Inspector General for the Social Security Administration, and with Estoppel and a couple other documents. If he's available, he'll come on later and explain exactly what he did. There's other people out here that basically are now starting to stand up and make statements about what I've been saying all along, is that the 16th Amendment was never properly ratified. Well, none of these amendments from the 14th Amendment have ever been properly ratified because they never could be ratified by the states. The states cannot take away the rights of the people, period. Bottom line, you have to voluntarily give them up. You've got to start standing up, getting mad at this process, and rebutting their statements that they come in after. They're the ones that are operating in fraud. They're operating as a Fidelity and Guaranty company out here. In all cases, the Social Security Administration, the Veterans Administration, the United States Corporation is not a corporation, it's a company. It's an insurance. It's a Fidelity and Guaranty company, copyrighted in 1871. All the state governments, state of, are basically not governments. They are a Fidelity and Guaranty company. The Department of Transportation. You've got a certificate of title to your vehicle. You also have a driver's license. Okay? These are all basically Fidelity, okay, which is when we get a license or a certificate, when we submit those in, we are giving a letter of credit by our signature. Now, that letter of credit is fully funded. They're putting a claim against our certificate of live birth account, which is and this is all implied. Okay? There is no hard, fast, this is what's going on type contract. It's all implied contracts that they operate by. We have to come in and rebut them. Now, the states do not hold the certificate of title to your vehicle, the MSO. The MSO for that vehicle is being held by the Federal Reserve Bank. Okay? The mortgage for your house is not being held by the bank. It's being held by the Federal Reserve Bank. Because they have to have the original item to be used as collateral so that they can loan the damn money out to the banks. The banks have no money. The commercial banks, the state, the government has no money. It has to borrow. Who's it borrow from? The Federal Reserve banks. So there has to be a real substance on deposit at that bank, and that's where our certificates and everything are being held. Our collateral, our letters of credit. We have to come in and close those things down. Now, I put up a 1099-A for the Fidelity side, which is under your foreign grantor trust, EIN person, and then also for the guarantee assurance side, the rents that are due to us by the borrower is going to be the estate EIN person. These accounts are being held as Mortmain accounts under our dead Mortmain person. Okay, it's a Mortmain vessel. We owe no income taxes. That's all total fraud. And basically, per that letter or per that memorandum by the IRS commissioner, we can go in and claim all that back. You fill out a 1099 or 1041 form. You put down the estate over the dead Mortmain vessel, and then you come in as your private bank is the fiduciary, and then the fiduciary agent that signs the 1041 form is going to be your individual banker with his EIN number. You don't put anything on there, fill in the blanks, but you write in red across it that basically you are demanding, per the attached memo, this document that I put up there, this is no joke document, attach that and then send this in to the IRS and demand all your money back that you paid in taxes. They know what the amount is. You don't. All the fraudulent penalties, all the $300 penalties and everything, envelopes that we've been charged. You get them to do their damn job. They know what the accounts are. The Secret Service is out there. Put them to work. About time they do something for the damn people in this country. Protect the damn president, thinking that he's God Almighty. He ain't nothing but another piece of shit. Takes a crap just like everybody else does. You gotta get pissed at this shit. But you don't go out and go overboard in the process. You have to understand what you're doing. Okay? You just don't go about this half-cocked. These two 1099-As that I put up there in this other document that I just sent to Tom, You can use this for just about anything you have. Your driver's license, your certificate of title to your vehicle, your mortgage. You take the mortgage, you endorse it, and basically you send it into the Federal Reserve Bank with the two 1099-As. You need to get that copy of your Estoppel by deed and banker's lien or bank lien recorded at the county over your physical person, your birth sack person, because that's who they claimed that you abandoned. It's right on the 1099-A about abandonment. The date of abandonment is your birth date, the date you were born. Very simple. That's the date they always ask you about. What's your birth date? What's your birth date? Well, see, they need to know where the vessel is located, so they need to go to the year. They find the year, then they go to the month. It's like they're going down the cemetery. They need to find the right lane, then they need to find the right plot, and then they need to find the right person in that plot. It can't be too much more complicated than that, because these, like I've said all along, these nitwits out here ain't that damn sharp. This same system has been going on all the way back prior to the pharaohs taking over Egypt, sitting at the damn cemetery gates and getting $200 payment or whatever from the damn people to bury the dead. Chapter 14 in the book of Joshua. All this stuff is well documented. It's just how you want to and what you really want to read and believe. A lot of people think that they're anything but out here, but a birth sack, but that they're created by something other than Mother Earth. Your body is made up of Mother Earth, not of some hocus pocus, off the wall bullshit, fly by the seat of your pants guy floating around out there in Never Land. Your spirit is here on Earth. Your spirit can go into and in and out of different bodies, but only one body at a time in a lifetime. But he can have more than one life to live. That's called what they call reincarnation. And even Jesus believed in that one. Now, there are several other people out here that have had some results. You don't have to listen to me. I'm going to be sending a bunch of these out this week to the Federal Reserve Bank in Philadelphia, to the Federal Reserve Bank in New York for my marriage license, and also for my Church of Rome account. I'm going to go to the Federal Reserve Bank of Richmond for the government agency. I'm going to put a 1099-A coming in from my estate for the funds that basically they owe to me for the usage of the postal system using my access, my certificate of live birth account as collateral for their funding, for their operating of their system. They owe us. We don't owe them shit. They're the ones that have borrowed from us. It's about time we start taking our shit back from them. You send this stuff out by certified mail, you get, if need be, you get a return receipt on this. Now, if you have a court case and basically you file papers in and they do not comply, and half these people that claim to be judges ain't judges. Steve could tell you about that one. Just a damn commissioner. Well, what's he commissioner of? Insurance. That's not insurance, assurance. They're just brokers, assurance brokers, trying to skim and deceive the living shit out of you. The Social Security, take your Social Security card, look at the back, okay? We supposedly know that the number or the letter that's on the back of that Social Security card is the Federal Reserve Bank that's holding our Social Security account. So let's try it. Get that into them. So mine is Atlanta. So that's where I'm sending mine. This is covered by the Expatriation Act, okay? 1868, 249. It's also covered by, if you do the coupon draws, it's covered by Title 46, Chapter 73. If you're doing the complete vessel liquidation for the Fidelity and the Guaranty of that vessel, that Mortmain vessel, then it falls under Chapter 573. These vessels were not supposed to be used after the age of 25. It states right in that chapter. The age of 25 was where you were supposed to be declared a freed man. Black, white, purple, pink, polka dot, I don't care what. You were supposed to be declared a freed man. There is no barrier in color here. We're all the same when you cut us open. Now, if there's anybody that's got any results or anything, you're open up the mic and let the people talk now, Tom. Tom.
I'm sorry, I was muted. I'm sorry. Harold's online here if he wants to tell us what he did. You can unmute yourself, Harold, or I can unmute you. I've unmuted you, Harold.
Hello. Go ahead.
Harold. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if I was unmuted or not because I hit the star six. Yeah, I was having problems struggling along with my Social Security payments. They hit me again with a tax lien on the Social Security. I think it came from Atlanta through Kansas City, so I sent Kansas City an estoppel by deed, a modified one, a copy endorsed of the letter that I had received from Atlanta, and a 1985 commissioner's letter. And I told him who I was. I gave him my private individual American National Banker's account number. I gave him the USSS Citizenship Employee Number name, Social Security account number, and I told him where it was located in the sub-account. That's the estate account, my 46 account, held in my private bank. I gave him that number again, and I said, per the enclosed 1985 letter from the commissioner, all taxes are owed to me, the source, and I am claiming refund of all owed taxes. These assets are to be routed back to the robbed account in 3 days. That's simple as I could keep it. And that's all I done. And I assure you they restored the account back to where it was before they linked it.
The Social Security account.
Yes.
They haven't done the taxes.
No. But with that said,
just what they were leaning. Okay.
Yes. They restored what they were leaning. With that said, I also sent a copy of that letter and another estoppel modified to the Social Security tax inspector with a letter that I had sent them and the endorsed signature on that bill that they had sent me. So I don't know who stopped it, but they put the money back into the account.
I think the bigger one is basically going and hitting up that Inspector General for the Social Security Administration.
I think you're right. But like I say, all I know, Pat, is that was about 8 or 10 days ago that I sent it to the IRS Kansas City, and Friday morning at 8:11 they received my certified copy of the stuff I had sent to Kansas City by the Social Security Inspector General, and Friday afternoon when I called, the money was back on there.
Mm-hmm.
I sent a modified estoppel by deed.
How did you modify it? How did you modify it?
He just addressed what he was after. Okay.
Okay.
That's
just
all.
Tailored it to the situation. Okay.
Yes. See, that's the beauty of these things that I do. You can tailor these things to however you want to address them. Don't make them hard and fast.
Oh, yeah.
I'm only trying to make examples for you.
Absolutely. And Tom, I will send you a copy of the cover letter that I had sent and basically what all I put in it. At the time, I didn't have the copy paper, so I didn't copy all of that. But I still have my original letter.
Great. Thank you.
You bet you.
Okay.
And see, one of the big things here in this process is we had our EIN for our state and for our foreign grantor trust about 4 or 5 years ago. At least I did.
2009, Pat.
But we were missing one thing. We were missing that individual bankers. You need to have the 3. Okay, and the banker is the big one because he is the fiduciary over the accounts. You don't make anybody else your fiduciary, your trustee, whatever. Your private bank is your trustee, your fiduciary over your accounts. Like I said all along, you never trust anybody else out there with your assets. No one else is going to cover your ass for you. You've got to cover your own ass. That's the bottom line. So all these people that keep talking about trust and trust and trust are full of bullshit. You're it. I mean, if you can't trust yourself, how in the hell are you ever going to trust anybody else? You've got to have 3 persons involved in this over your dead Mortmain vessels that you've created. And the Mortmain vessels are basically your letters of credit accounts that you've created. Implied letters of credit. Everything in their world is imaginary, so it's all implied. But it's holding real substance. The reality is there. You have to supply the reality to it and wake up. That's why Dorothy was walking around as the living person in the fictional Wizard of or Land of Oz. Everybody else was basically a dream person, an imaginary person. And that was sort of brought out by the straw man, the tin man, and the cowardly lion. And the monkeys and all the guards and everybody else, all the nitwits, basically running around there. They were all imaginary. You've got to put the real substance into play. And when you hold the real substance, they have to disappear. Because now you have standing over them. And if you don't believe that, then basically you're never going to get through this process. Because you've got to have faith and belief to go along with this. Okay, anybody else have examples? I heard there's been some discussion on the site there, a couple of write-ups from different letters that people have been posting, Tom.
Yes, Ray Nakura sent in a long PDF going after all of his taxes too, and that went up on the Skype group, and I sent it out also through Yahoo.
Yeah, Ray on.
I do have your example as SS example now posted on the Skype group and the Yahoo group, and I see you posted it on our club group.
Okay. I get it on the concurrent group there or whatever. What folder are you using in the concurrent group?
I still have everything in internet banking. Internal revenue.
That's 35? Is that 35?
That's 35, yes. We probably should break it out.
Why don't you make a new one, a 36?
Okay.
Folder 36, okay, people? That's where all the latest information will be. Tom will try and post the latest stuff into that one.
What should we call it, Patrick?
Just
Our
number
Mort-
36. Okay, go
Our
by
Mort-
number.
Our Mortmain account?
Whatever. Okay?
Okay,
But number 36, that's the key that people need to look at. Okay?
right.
You can forget the title, but you can remember the number.
Yes, I number them on concurrent to keep them sorted in the proper order, but they're not numbered on Yahoo.
Okay. That's okay, because I haven't been able to get back into Yahoo yet on there.
Okay,
I don't know what's going on with the internet. Basically, it's pretty screwy. I'm still working on that.
okay. Ray might be of some help. He's really a good computer tech.
No, I've got just about everything I really need. I'm just about ready to throw the whole damn thing away.
Okay,
The only thing I'm using it for is word processing, pretty much.
oh, Ray sorted out the phone problems that I was having.
I'm on the call right now. I just didn't want to say anything. When I get there, Patrick, I'll build you a computer that you'll be satisfied with. You won't have the problems you
No,
got.
don't worry about that, okay? You worry about yourself, okay?
Yes, sir. I already am.
Okay.
And I'll probably be there within 3 days.
You heard anything back from your bankers that you were trying to go with?
No, actually, you ended up being right. They actually don't know their head from their ass. Thomas was on the call with the idiot from Bank of America. He didn't even know how to handle this whole situation.
And the upper management ain't going to let you in, okay? That
You were
manager may try and do something, but as soon as he goes up the ladder, they're going to block him from allowing it to take place.
Right.
I see that happening.
Yes, and it's the same way with the court system, okay?
Yes, I see.
And see, that's the big thing, that if you call these judges, what they call themselves judges, on the carpet, they've got to go to their superior, and basically their superior will, in most cases, recommend them to drop the thing like a hot potato and get the hell out of there.
Okay.
Because they can then turn around and become liable into the situation. You can turn around and take that court case and file that into that Federal Reserve Bank, because basically that court put a policy against you, against your Mortmain account.
Okay.
Like the traffic tickets and whatever else, okay? Basically, that's where the funds are at. They're not at the state. The state has no money. The banks have no money. But the Federal Reserve does. They've got our funds in reserve. That's why they're called a Federal Reserve Bank. Because they're holding our reserves. That's our reserves. It's not anybody else's reserves. It's ours.
And Ray, you got your Estoppel back clean from the California recorder?
I already got the green card back. The one to the Treasury in San Francisco. I already got that. I don't need to do the 1099. I can do that tonight, send it out tomorrow.
You need to do the two of them, okay?
Yes, sir.
But you need to do those documents appropriately, okay? The certificate of live birth doesn't go to the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco. It goes to the Federal Reserve Bank in Philadelphia, Treasury Direct. That's where you're going to close down that letters of credit or letters patent document.
Okay. So I might be
Okay.
receiving the birth certificates back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at something that kind of Donald Lawrence and I were talking earlier today.
You're breaking up, Bill.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. That possibly that the to set up a bank account, they probably want us to with that 47 number to set up a private bank account with the Federal Reserve, and probably with the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. That's probably, in other words, instead of us trying to open up one with Wells Fargo or Bank of America or any of these other banks, they won't do it. We are the actual banker, so we will go in there to direct it to the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, and it'll probably be the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia.
Okay. All right, Philadelphia then. I just said
Yeah,
New York.
not New York.
We open up an account.
They got too much shit going on there in New York to handle all the accounts. But Philadelphia, that's where the de jure treasury is really located. That's where the first postmaster was located, old Benji.
That's where we set up the account at.
Yeah. So basically, and that's where we got our foreign grantor trust number from, was Philadelphia, when we got those back years ago.
Yeah, but I think we're going to set up a direct account with the Federal Reserve in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Just trying to go to these banks.
Because it will be drawing out real assets and then converting those real assets into asset-backed Federal Reserve dollars.
Yeah.
And there is a mint in Philadelphia.
Well, we're going to attempt to do that.
See, we tried to go to the mint in Philadelphia, okay, before. They've got a curator there in Philadelphia, too. There's only two curators in the mints out here. One is the mint in Philadelphia. The other one is in Washington, D.C.
Okay, so we use our state number.
No, you just do what with these 1099As, you get them in there, and then when you get the accounts, have them give you the accounts, then they will talk to you about opening up the other shit.
Okay. All right. I got you.
Yeah, don't try and jump the gun. You basically wait for them.
Yeah. All right. We can do that.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. We've been out here trying to think that we knew everything. Hey, let's just wait for them. They're the ones that are supposed to be our servants. If they want our assets stored properly, we'll allow them to store it properly. But then they're going to turn around and give us the access to it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then basically all your other stuff, you can go after those individually and start closing those down. But if you get the one in Philadelphia to that Treasury Direct and take out your certificate of live birth, your letters patent out of the system, then all the letters of credit are going to have to be collapsed also. Because all the letter credits are basically attached back to that letters patent. So you take out the key cornerstone, and the whole damn building falls down. The house of cards. Because that's all these are. They're paper cards. in their gambling game that they're operating out here. It's a card game. And there's many different card games in Vegas. You just got to know which card game you're dealing in and the rules of that card game in the process. But basically, pretty much, they're all the same rules. Okay, anybody else have any comments? Any findings? Anything out there? Anything? Come on.
I had a discovery today. I had an old Social Security card, and on the back, the serial number began with the E. On a more current one, it started with G.
Okay.
I wonder why that is. Is that really tied to the bond number when you go on the Treasury Direct site? Or
no,
is it,
that is going to that Federal Reserve Bank. Okay? They set up a new Social Security policy over at a different Federal Reserve Bank. The Social Security, Fidelity, and Guaranty Company initially had a policy at the one Federal Reserve Bank. Now you close that one down, and then basically they issued you a new policy over at another bank. You need to check and make sure that you close down both bank accounts or both policies.
Now, the older one didn't have a issue date.
Don't worry about that. The issue date, the abandonment date, is your birth date on the 1099-A. Even on the Social Security card. You don't worry about when you signed up with that Social Security card. It's all going back to your original vessel, your birth sack that you abandoned at birth. Read the definition in Ballantyne's dictionary about BIRTH. You did two things. First, you separated from your mother. The umbilical cord was cut. The second was you abandoned your birth sack that was holding your life support. So the Federal Reserve banking system claimed that life support and put it into an account in the Federal Reserve Bank in Philadelphia on that birth date. And see, that is why it's a Mortmain vessel, because the birth sac is dead tissue now. Does that make any sense?
Yes.
You're burying the dead. You buried it. So that is essentially, that certificate of live birth is also a death certificate. It's the death certificate for your birth sac person. Your Mortmain vessel. They always ask you, where's your death certificate? Well, it's right here. Oh, that says certificate of live birth. Yeah, on one side, but it's a death certificate on the other side for the birth sac. There was two births taking place. Your mirror image person. See, that's how these bankers operate. It's just the people out here in the real world, they don't want to believe this shit. Because they don't have any true faith and belief. They got to be told everything. You got to think about this logically. Be Mr. Spock in Star Wars or Star Trek or whatever it was.
Pat, does
Yeah.
the DD-214 go to Philadelphia also?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a land patent.
Okay. All right.
At least that's where I'm going to send mine.
Okay, so on the DD-214 and birth certificates go to Philadelphia. All your other certificates or licenses go to Richmond.
No, they go to the Federal Reserve Bank that is serving your state or where they were issued from.
Yeah, well, that's Richmond.
Okay, like the Social Security. Okay, if you have the F or whatever on the back of your Social Security card, send that to Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
If it's a G or whatever, send it to the appropriate Federal Reserve Bank.
Right. Okay. What if you got a C? To see what's it called? Got a F and a C.
You send one to both places. There could be two accounts.
Yeah. So it's probably going at it. Yeah.
But your certificate of marriage, wherever you got married, okay, you got married in a different state, you need to find out where that marriage contract, what state that was servicing that state, what Federal Reserve Bank. You send it to them. You have a baptismal certificate. You send that into the Federal Reserve Bank in New York. Care of, basically, the account that is being held in a Mortmain there by the Church of Rome. All churches go to Rome. All roads lead to Rome. All religious roads lead to Rome. Because they're all operating as a religious merchant system out here. I've gone over this numerous times in the past, but basically the key thing that we really found out was that we were missing that individual banker's EIN, our third person. We were claiming private bank status, but we didn't have a CFO of our private bank. We as the living just have a first and possibly a middle name. That's all we have. We're not dead yet. We're the CEO, standing in the background, out on the golf course, whatever you want to be. Let your fictions do the dirty work. You need to have that Estoppel by deed and bank lien recorded over for your birthing land inheritance. That will basically also, if you need to, put down also that this covers your military service bounty lands too. If you have an honorable DD-214 or an honorable discharge. You can attach that to it. But anyway, it all comes out under that initial certificate of live birth against the Mortmain vessel that's being held there. And then you have direct access to the Treasury when you do this estoppel by deed. But you're going to stop all these commercial contracts out here in the process. Because that's how they're operating. They're operating out here under estoppels. They're stopping you under that certificate, under that mortgage, under that driver's license. They're all a Fidelity and Guaranty estoppel. An insurance estoppel, in a way. That's why they can demand that you have a damn seatbelt on. That's why they can demand that you don't speed 200 miles an hour down the road. Because they're trying to protect their policy that they have out here so that they can continue to use it. Yeah, if you're dead, then basically they have to stop using it for a while. They can't continue. They have to put it into stop and then roll it over to something else, and there could be a possibility they could lose it at that point in time. So they wouldn't get any more benefit out of it. They get the greatest benefit out of it while you're alive. But they owe us a great debt out here. And down the road, to prevent having to pay that great debt that they owe to us, they will probably kill you at that point in time. Mass extermination. But not for the ones that basically figure this thing out. Because if you get this document in, it's of no benefit to them if you've already pulled your assets out. Now, it's outright murder. Before, you were classified as a debtor, as a dead entity anyway, so basically they have no problem in killing you. Because you're too damn stupid to realize what this shit's going on. It's only the ones that wake up and stand their ground against them that will survive. Okay, any further comments? I'm going to shut up.
No comments, guys?
Make sure you got them all unmuted.
Okay, Patrick, just one question from my part. I did send the documents to the first set of birth certificates to the Federal Reserve of San Francisco. This time I'm not going to send the Federal Reserve once I send it to the Federal Reserve of Philadelphia, right? So basically...
Treasury direct. Treasury direct.
Treasury direct, okay.
With that's your 1090, you're going to do a 1099A for the Mortmain vessel, just like I have for the Social Security card there, but it will be for the Certificate of Live Birth vessel, COLB vessel.
Okay.
And then basically one will be for your estate for the guarantee assets that are being held there. And the other will be for your letters patent for the foreign grantor trust person as the borrower.
Okay.
You'll have a copy of your certified Estoppel by deed from your county recorder's office, and get a certified copy of it, okay? And send that certified copy in.
Okay.
Then you also have a certificate of live birth, and you will endorse that appropriately when you send that in.
Okay.
You'll have a cover letter, like what I had some before, but you'll have to modify the cover letter, and you'll have to modify the statement for going for the certificate of live birth, and also the endorsement on the back of the certificate of live birth that you are coming in to claim all of that assets be released to you and close down all other accounts that you have issued letters of credit out to, and that basically these other Fidelity and Guaranty companies are holding assets in the other Federal Reserve banks.
Okay.
You can give them a list of all the account numbers that, if you have them, like your driver's license, like your Social Security number, your certificate of title to your vehicle, the title on it, okay, where it's from, and the title number, sort of like a manifest that I had out there before.
Okay.
I've done all the documents at one point or another here in the last couple of months.
Yeah,
Just need to go through those and pull them together and put them into a proper package and send them out.
Yeah, I think that's been my problem. I actually never realized how complex. It's not complex. It's just putting the package together, and I haven't been doing that correctly. And I suppose a lot of people, because of lack of knowledge, and they haven't been on the calls back and forth, are doing the same thing. And that's why we haven't, some of us, gotten any response yet. Because maybe the packages are going out in a different way than what they should be supposedly going out.
Yeah, we sent them to the wrong place, and basically we didn't back them up with proper notification. Like, also, when you send this out to the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia, you turn around and you send like your 1041 form out to either Ogden or to Austin, Texas, or Cincinnati. I forget where in the hell it goes. Cincinnati and Austin, or Ogden, Utah, I think, is where the 1041 goes. You send those in, back it up by going to the Inspector General of the Treasury and also to the IRS Commissioner, stating what you just did.
Okay.
Just like what Harold, basically, and what I did, going to the Social Security Inspector General, and I'm sure that's where I got my immediate response, was more out of faxing it into the Inspector General for the Social Security than trying to argue with the damn people in the Social Security.
Yeah. Well, right now I'm stopping because I'm on my way over there. So I'll probably be getting back on this one. I'll be there in 3 days. I'll be seeing you.
Okay.
So I'll explain. Well, Thomas can explain to you what's going on. But yeah, I'll be there in about 3-4 days.
Okay.
I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm going to try to leave tomorrow at 9 o'clock at nighttime, so I can actually try to pull 1,200 miles on the first day, and I'll try to pull 600 on the second day. and then on the 3rd, maybe I'll pull another 600 to get to Thomas. But I will try to get there as soon as possible, so we can all finish this, and I can go help Thomas once and for all.
Okay.
So yes, sir. I'm ready to do whatever needs to be done.
Okay. Anybody else out there have anything?
Come on, people, speak. I guess the cat got the tongues.
Hello, Thomas? Or Patrick?
Go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead, speak up.
It's Orlando. I have a question on the bank ratified document, Estoppel by deed. I have one space on that document that is stumping me, and it's in the first paragraph, and it's where it says, "I am the one born upon the banking shores of America on the blank." And for the life of me, I can't figure out what to put there. I've got everything else figured out, but that's totally stumping me.
Well, does it seem like it's the date, or does it seem like it's the address?
It can't be the address because the address is provided in.
So it's got to be the date.
Yeah, on the 4th of July, 1776, you were born.
Okay.
Yeah, just fill in the blank logically with what you would think would go there, okay? And then reread it afterwards.
I thought that, but then it's repeating it in the very next sentence.
That's okay. I repeat myself sometimes.
Okay. It made me feel as though I was missing something, and I just needed confirmation there because I was like an empty spot in my brain.
Well, see, that's the thing. Okay, you have to you're supposed to rewrite this thing to where you understand it, and you get them to understand what you're trying to say. Okay? So, however you want to reword the whole thing. Okay? Okay. It's your document. It's not mine anymore.
Okay. Makes sense.
Okay.
That, like you said, I just needed to make sense out of it, and I was just questioning myself about repeating the date again. Other than that, I mean, I'm good. I'm ready to do something with this week.
Yeah. Well, see, in some cases on that, I had the date that it was recorded, and then also the date that I was born. Okay.
Right.
Which are two different dates. Like I was born on March 2nd, but it was recorded into the record books on the 9th of March. And then later on, the letters patent was issued on the 2nd of June.
I know I was born on the 29th of September, and the letters patent was done on the 4th of October, I think.
Yeah, which more than likely was about 3 months afterwards. Somewhere in that ballpark, okay, whenever they felt that they could issue that out. Because, see, that's a royal letters patent. It's an implied royal letters patent. It's not a government-issued letters patent. It's a royal letters patent.
Okay. That was something that was confusing to me too, because when we were studying initially, we were always talking about 90 days after our birth date that they would issue that, and it was just a few days after that it was registered. It wasn't 90 days. It was like a week. But then I've heard this. It really doesn't matter. It's just the fact that they did it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, Patrick?
Yeah.
Drew would like to ask a question. He's at a noisy location, so he typed it in the group. How can we sever the letters of credit means against our letters patent before withdrawal?
You can send your letters credit, okay? That's your, like your certificate of title to your vehicle, okay? It's a letter of credit for the value, full value of that vehicle. It's being held there at that Federal Reserve Bank that services that state that issued that certificate of or that certificate of title. So all the funds have been transferred over to that. They're holding the original manufacturer's title. The Federal Reserve Bank is. That did the initial issue. Now, like if you move from one state to another, and now you've got your certificate of title over into a different state, then they should have transferred that over to the other Federal Reserve Bank. If you're operating in a different Federal Reserve Bank. But they're all tied together. So basically, whether it did get fully transferred or whether it just is a roundabout tie back to where the original title is being held. Your marriage license, the same thing, okay? That really is tied to the state that you got married in. And your wife's got one there too. There's two Fidelity accounts there. One for the husband and one for the wife.
Yeah, Patrick?
Yeah.
I just got an email from the Yahoo group from a guy who says, I handwrote, I promised to pay in 120 years, and he wrote out the amount for first, middle name, last name, and social security number on a blank paper, and they stopped taking about $200 a month from Social Security. I returned their alleged bills with it and with no cover letter. And he sent it to the Treasury Fiscal Service in Washington, D.C.
Well, Bill also has an identity theft document, okay, that 14038 document that you can turn around and send into Hanover, Maryland, to the Treasury Department about identity theft. And see, the identity theft is they've taken your living identity and attached it to a dead birth sack. You as the living are basically identified inappropriately. I don't know how many people pulled that form down, but if you take a look at it, basically you could talk to Bill about getting that thing filled out.
Okay. This is a good call, Patrick. I got to go through it and take proper notes. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else have any comments?
How do we get a hold of Bill to talk to him about how to fill that out?
I don't know. You still online, Bill? It's not that hard, okay? Just take a look at it and fill it out appropriately. It's only 2 pages, and basically there isn't too much that you fill out on the second page.
Okay.
Ask the questions on the Skype group, and if I need to, I'll get in touch with Bill.
Okay?
Yep.
No other questions?
Yes,
Okay.
Mom. Thank you, Patrick.
Catch you later.
Oh,
okay.
yes, I have a comment.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes, hi. Yeah, about the relationships with this whole thing right now, the way we understand it, I found from what you were saying from the previous weeks that understanding that relationships between the guarantor, the guarantee policy holder or the contract holder, and the guarantee with the EE, that really helped to understand the relationship. So the guarantor being the customer, or the Mortmain, or that dead birth sack that the name was attached to. Also the guarantee policy holder, that care of wherever the water bill is, wherever the Federal Reserve Bank is, that guarantee contract or the guarantee policy holder, and the guarantee, the EE, that the one that's on the Estoppel by deed, as well as the CEO of your private bank, that three-dimensional being that doesn't appear on these two-dimensional planes.
Uh-huh.
Understanding that relationship and illustrating it like on a map or something really helped me to see it a lot more clearly. So I just wanted to provide that comment. Thanks.
Yeah, and then basically throwing a 1099-A against them when you send it back to them.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the big thing that Bill and Lawrence found out was when they put that 1099-A in there. That's really when the water bill got settled out.
Yes, definitely. So it definitely helps in the 1099-A. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, we'll catch you later.
Thank you very much, Patrick.
Okay, good night.
Good night.